Hello again, everyone. It's Old Kong back with another stream after my 6-hour Ancient Beckoning stream last night. Don't worry, nothing like that. We're just back with another Summit Dare Langrisser match. So today's match is going to be Nevercid, a.k.a. Lukcid, versus MeowSensei. And these are both very strong Apex Arena players. MeowSensei kind of famous for playing sometimes off-meta boxes or interesting different units. So we'll see how he approaches a battle against a titan like Lukcid. I'm just waiting for the players to get ready and queue in with each other. And I guess while they're doing that, I'll go ahead and post my link in the Summit Dare Langrisser Discord. So people know that this battle is happening. Obviously all of you know already as die-hard Kong followers. I really need a macro or something. And I'm also in MeowSensei's alt guild on Lukcid Gate. That's where old Freekong lives. So let's take a peek in there and make sure that all the Lukcid Gate guildies come out and see their Meow. Okay, here they go. So we'll queue that up, open the screen. BGuy96, welcome. Thanks for the follow. So let's take a look at these boxes. So Lukcid is using a pretty traditional looking meta box currently. We've got Oboro in here. And Meow has Lewin. He does have Patsir. We've seen him use Patsir in the past. He has Oboro as well. Other than that, this looks like a fairly standard box. I guess Jugler's in here, so he does have Hilda, Chris, and potentially Jugler for tanking options. And he's just got the Rosen as a healer. So we'll see if he has anything sneaky up his sleeves for side box for the next game, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so for now, Lukcid is bringing out Lucretia first pick. His own Hilda banned, which means he's going to be without a tank unless he gets a little Phalanx assistance from Sissy. So Meow can take advantage of that with a plethora of his magical units that he has here. Although, I suppose like Kyra and Patsir have the potential to ignore guard anyway. Okay, both hams off the table. No more ham on the menu, at least on Lukcid's side. And Meow is locking up a tank, first pick, anti-magic tank, which will help react to this Lucretia first pick. So that may potentially limit her options. But Lukcid has some other strong options in his box that aren't super hindered by this Christian as well. So he has a few assassins left. He's got Oboro as an option. Azusa can crash into tanks fairly well. Even Elwyn can crash into a Christiane fairly well. But he does go ahead and secure one of his strong guard ignore units into Epsilon. Okay, and Meow with the insta-pick of this Himiko here. As if in anticipation of what Absol just said in the chat. He had to get that AoE unit out for sure. I know Meow has... I'm not sure if this is on his alt or on his main before. He has used Albedo to tank quite a bit. I think it might be on his ult, because Luciris Gate started up right around the time of that Overlord crossover. Alright, so Lukcid content to keep piling on these strong single target units. Couple guard ignores here now. So everything in here so far, other than maybe Lucretia, looks like it's a pretty good adaptation to that first pick Christiane. And Lucretia can obviously bring Cleanse, she can bring AoE. She may be inclined to bring AoE against this Himiko anyway. That said, even if Meow thinks that he might be going up against like one strong AoE unit, I don't think he's going to want to go with Jugler. Unless he's planning on, like, a 1-2 AoE combo himself. But that really kind of narrows down the units he has available to do any appreciable DPS. Because Oboro is going to be waiting before he can really chip in with the DPS. Himiko does have her AoE, obviously, and Christiane's a tank. Lukcid blocking those other chonky support units anyway, so MeowSensei is going to have to go with someone else. And he opts for the Lewin. Okay, so... Lewin's another bulky option. He does have an AoE. I don't know if Nevercid is going to be planning on being chunked together with a team like this. He doesn't really have a teammate that he needs to gather up around. The only concern, maybe for him going into a Himiko, is going to be that he has no healer, but like B-Guy said in the chat, a lot of these units take care of healing themselves, so T-Jess basically can heal the team, Elwyn can take care of healing himself, Cherie can heal herself, Epsilon, with his zombies, can pretty much heal himself, Lucretia can heal herself. So both players are going to be setting up their skills, their soldiers, and their positioning on this map. Meow has no real impetus to keep stacking Oboro up to all the way to 4 stars, so he could pop that Oboro whenever he really needs him. 2 or 3 stacks will be just fine because Lukcid doesn't have a tank. So if Meow starts feeling the pressure and he wants to get Oboro into the action, he can certainly do that. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We do have 1 AoE on the Lucretia. The 1 DPS skill on the T-Jess. No need for hide on Epsilon. Okay, so this is a off-tank Lewin. He brought his passive guard skill. So that also... I mean, I guess Lewin can take the mobility boost from IBC. Yeah, and we have the push on Himiko. Yeah, Raven, I think you're right. With no real healer or debuff protection, Meow's probably figuring that someone's going to get stunned at some point. So being able to just like stick Lewin in beside an important unit and soak up one hit anyway might be helpful later in this game. So Meow's going to try to shore up back here, at least for the first turn or so. Lukcid, for his part, is going to try to spread out and get into position to get ready to launch some kind of 1-2 punch. Alright, already Cherie running up front with a breeze. So if she wants, she can bounce off the top of Meow's team here and get her act again at the start of next turn. So Meow's going to be thinking about positioning around that. Elwyn, of course, is down here, also a threat. He can reach. Will we see a breeze on this Epsilon when he eventually moves in? He may or may not need it, because we still have T-Just with the teleport potential as well. So Meow is right now spending some time counting tiles. Yeah, Raven, that's one thing about Meow, is he definitely always has a considered approach to these battles beforehand. He doesn't just kind of load in and see what happens. Whether the plan is a good one, whether the plan works, obviously remains to be seen in the course of battle. And all these rangy units here on Lukcid's side, the ability to kind of combo together, that may have Meow on his heels at the start. He does have a tank who can help absorb some of that opening salvo. It's just a question of whether he can then counterattack and make the most of that. So for example, if Cherie and Elwyn come in at the start of next turn, what is Meow's retaliation? I think Lukcid is spending a little bit of time considering here what he wants to do with this teleport. Okay. So he opts to get Lucretia up into the middle of the map. Possibly went looking for a Tenyo buff on that Epsilon. Didn't exactly find what he was looking for. Lewin runs to the back to take away that initial... Actually, doesn't take it away. Cherie can reach right now. So Lukcid's going to open up with an AoE, just to soften this team up. And presumably Vance is going to pull her back to safety. No real true huge retaliatory threat from Meow here yet. So he just uses Oboro's turn, that's fine. Now we'll see, who's next? Is it going to be Cherie or Elwyn? Yeah, that's the thing, Absol. I think if you're trying to shell up around an Oboro with a tank and, you know, trying to protect your team or protect your Oboro, being against a team like this that Lukcid has, you're not going to be able to buy yourself too much time. Like, as we've seen, Lukcid was able to get set up on turn 1 and immediately be in offensive position for turn 2 with more than half of his team. Okay, Meow's still hanging back. Lukcid continuing to end these less important turns to kind of force Meow to commit units before he comes in with the Cherie and Elwyn. It's true that he got Tenyo luck on turn 1, but the fact remains that even if that hadn't happened, then worst case scenario, Lukcid could have taken a second turn to continue pushing in and getting set up. So, you know, even with another turn of setup, Meow doesn't have really long distance threats here that could range or zone Lukcid out. It would buy him at best a little bit more setup and another stack on Oboro. And in fact, we're seeing that bear out. Lukcid is not rushing himself, so he's not going in first thing with this Elwyn. He's going to leave that for next turn. Same with the Cherie here. So this is still oppressive pressure. She can reach pretty much everyone. Yeah, she can reach the whole team at the start of this turn if she wants to. Oboro can't reach yet. Himiko reaches at best 1 unit right now. Thanks, Phil. I think most people in this stream are probably going to be doing joint battles later on. If you're trying to send people away from my TSDL Top 8 stream, yeah, I think what people are arguing in the chat about the early pick on Himiko is probably right. If you picture Meow's team here with Watham and still getting Himiko 3rd or 4th pick, instead of the Lewin, for example. So, Lukcid still considering his options. While he does have the advantage of the fog and reach, he knows that he still has to contend with a tank when he gets in there. Okay, IBC is coming out. Doesn't get the first life off Elwyn. Obviously, Meow felt the pressure of both the dwindling backup time and the fog at his back. Figured he had to try to make something happen. This is really just going to cost him his IBC. Gets nothing in return for it. So he pretty much needs... Like, he either needs to get really mean, lucky, full debuffs with that Himiko and then have Oboro carry. But this is looking pretty uncomfortable for Meow right now. The thing is, it's hard for Oboro to carry... it's hard for Oboro to get a 2-for-1 when the entire opponent's team is strong DPS units. So whenever Oboro's exposed, Lukcid just has the capability to follow up with someone. Yeah, Cherie can still reach that Himiko. So she can pop it with a regular attack, burn the teleport, and then come down and ignore guard. Teleport's back on the table as well for next turn. Okay, the Himiko play is what we're going to see. He didn't use a normal melee, he decided to go for the stun just to make this range kill a bit easier, so this Cherie wouldn't take any damage. He also gets to park her on a forest, so a full health Cherie on a forest, pretty good. Yeah, the Dobermans are letting me know. Actually, that's not an intruder, that's the It's time for a meal alarm. They are hungry. They would love an intruder. Love an intruder at mealtime. Okay, so he is going to run back with the Elwyn to protect that Elwyn. You can bring him in later on. Very interested in seeing. Okay, Oboro doing pretty much nothing to that Cherie. Now he has time to get her out before Lewin can follow up. Soda. Well, I think that's the Doberman referees calling this one. Lucretia just poking from afar here to be a nuisance. I think partly that is Lukcid not believing that Oboro can kill that. Or did he already use his 3C? No, he didn't even use his 3C. He tried to use his 2C on that Cherie. So if the 3C is capable of one-shotting this, then the AoE will take the second life, but I don't know if Lukcid is just not convinced that Oboro can do anything. He could also teleport her back if he wanted to, I guess. Yeah. That's the safer play. The patient play is really just to maintain his range advantage here and let MeowSensei continue to be stressed out by this complete lack of backup time. Lukcid waiting for the next opportunity for a good 1-2 punch. Well, I guess we're going to see what this Oboro's full capabilities are. Not quite enough to finish off that Christian's first life. Not quite. And this range advantage is just so demoralizing too, because Meow knows that Lukcid can stay pretty much back here with his whole team and still reach whenever he wants. And Meow just feels like all he can do is march forward into enemy fire. You can't stay away from it. You don't have a healer, so this Christian is just going to slowly go down. We do have a monstrous guard ignore here, getting ready to come in as well, so that is probably being loaded up for Oboro. And it's only a matter of time before this train arrives in the station. Lewin with no AoE for the next 5 turns. He does have a single target if he can eventually get up to anyone. Oboro's skills are back. Cherie finishing off that first life with a Ragnarok proc. She does have her stun, but is she worried about not being able to survive hitting into this? She should have been, because Christiane with first strike finishes her off before even taking the hit. The only side benefit of that for Lukcid's team is it does refresh the faction buff on Elwyn. It also gives another stack for Epsilon. So if Cherie's usefulness was at an end, that's a good way of reinvesting her back into the team. If he had gotten a stun on the Christiane, then obviously that would have been fine. But he still got something for it. So T-Just was able to come up and finish off Cherie's job. And now this Lewin can really only guard from Elwyn. Now he guards from no one, and we have a 4 on Oboro situation. So 4 full DPS, one of them a fully stacked up shielded Epsilon versus a 2-stack Oboro. I think this one's in the books. Alright, Oboro claims his first victim. I guess if he can slowly chip away at these units while staying out of range of... No? No. Okay, that's gonna be it. Are you gonna kill Lucretia too? Alright, we'll give him credit for 1.5 kills in that match. So that is Lukcid coming out on top in Game 1 in a fairly convincing display of the sheer importance of zone control. So let's get ready, load back in for Game 2. And see what the players decide to bring out of their side box. I do have a feeling that Meow is probably going to go to the side box for something. And it'll be interesting. Remember last time we had a Lukcid stream, it was against Hale. And for the second game, he switched basically half his box to push and pull units and tried to play a meme displacement game against Hale. So yeah, seeing a couple comments in the chat predicting that Meow is probably going to tilt more to AoE here. He is very familiar with playing AoE type box, AoE debuff. I think in this game, Lukcid is probably not going to be as inclined to try to mix it up for Game 2. I think he just really wants to, you know, stick to his guns, keep his feet planted on the ground, and play his style of game. Alright, so we do have, Omega as well. So we've got Lana, Helena, and the Sage of the Trees coming up. He does like his Omega. So that does give him a nice AoE ST flex option here. Here as well, although predominantly she's there to be an AoE. And another good annoying AoEer, defensive aura, and faction buff if needed. Yeah, I mean, I unironically have that question, Loomis. Meow going with the first pick tank again. And Nevercid picking up first pick lost him. It's not the best map for lost him, but it's not the worst either. Obviously he can ignore guard, he can potentially stun the tank, so a really good pick with lots of potential angles there. Meow getting his Epsilon this time. So 2 strong assassins on Lukcid's side. And Meow with several of his AoE options still available to him if he wants. I have a feeling we may see another Oboro again on Meow's side. I wouldn't be surprised to see a third pick Lana, Loomis. I think Meow may have wanted to secure kind of his only real remaining assassin first. Oh, okay, he's gonna go with the Omega. He's got his Epsilon already. He's gonna go with the Omega. I mean, Omega... These aren't usually what I think of as Omega targets. He's definitely not going to be able to double Lostum. I don't really remember what Epsilon's skill is because he doesn't really rely on his skill too much. The real question with Epsilon is, can Omega even kill it? Yeah, that's what I mean, Straw. He obviously doesn't doesn't triple them if he doesn't even double them. So Lukcid here securing another booster, so she can inspire, she can also act again. That's a good pick for Lukcid's kind of rangy zone controlling style with IBC banned already. And there's the Oboro we were expecting. Bakira, welcome to the stream. Now that you've quit, are you living vicariously through watching other people play, knowing that you don't have to keep up with it yourself? Okay, Lukcid takes both Sage and Lana off the table, the remaining annoying AoEs. He still does give MeowSensei the ability to bring this Himiko out. Or potentially the Hilda? Yeah, I was expecting the Himiko. And Lukcid does pick up that D-Heart, so it's another assassin. He also has a stun, obviously. So here's the thing. Meow ran into a situation last time where he was trying to huddle up with his Oboro. He didn't have a healer. He doesn't have a healer this time either. So I think his main adjustment here is, instead of having, what was it, Lewin, he has Epsilon and Omega potentially intending to be able to control the range game a little bit more, keep Omega safe behind their threat ranges. The problem with that is that there are two of them. Himiko it's risky for Himiko to step outside of Christian's guard, because we do have the pre-battle stun from Lostum's 3C, so he does have the ability to just one-shot her if she's not being guarded. Oh, and thanks for the follow, Bakira. Okay, so the only other thing we have that's different is turn priority on Meow's side. So he brought Sealing Technique, 546 skill on that Omega. Yeah, Sissy White, definitely. And I don't think he triples Azusa either, unless he's getting a skill buff somewhere. So yeah, I think this is going to be kind of a refinement of Meow's strategy for the first game. He's going to try to stay away from Lukcid's threats for the first couple turns. Kind of warn him off with these. Build up a strong enough Oboro, and hopefully still have enough team left that Oboro doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting himself. I remember when Oboro was first coming out, I read someone saying in their analysis of Oboro that basically the way to approach him is to just kill all the other units on the team. So by the time he transforms, he doesn't have the guns to go up against however many threats you have. I mean, that's one approach for sure. Lost him with his Lostum skills. We do have D-Heart's mini micro faction buff to help Azusa out here. And we do have Inspire as well. Nothing too surprising on that side. I keep trying to see what the other side of the map is doing. I'll stop fooling around with that, because I'm sure it's distracting. What do you think, chat? Who has the advantage in this Game 2, based on the pick and ban situation? Okay, Himiko posting up out front. She can basically AoE the team if she wants to go in. Meow knows about this. I almost wonder if that's an Angel Feather Himiko and he's going to try baiting the Lostum. Okay, so faction buffs up. We do catch a breeze on this Epsilon. That's a faction buff for Omega. Can't reach anything quite yet. I mean, Lukcid literally has a full-on healer this time, which is more main healing than he had in the last game. So this is a potential hook target for Lostum now. He didn't catch a breeze, which I'm sure he was hoping for, but this does put him in range of one snipeable, stunnable target at least. But Himiko can reach. Depending on where this D-Heart goes, she can reach 2 victims. Yeah, that's why I'm curious about this forward-facing Himiko threat here, because Meow knows that she can be stun-killed for sure. Meow considering his options for this Omega. Where does he want to put him? What does he want to do with him? Yeah, I think you're right. I think that Omega is a dedicated sissy hunter at this point. Alright, one final action for D-Heart here, and then we're going to see what Meow decides to open up with. She doesn't have enough move to reach with Sealing Technique on Lostum, does she? No. Not quite. Now, there's no real need for him to go with Himiko first, but he does need to decide what he wants to do with her, because if he doesn't move her, Lostum has the option to come in and kill her right now. Now, Lukcid might not want to charge in and do that right away, knowing that he can just keep his threat back here to prevent her from coming in. I think Lostum still reaches that if he wants to. She's not under guard. The question for Lukcid is if he wants to expose his Lostum that badly, just for this Himiko. So he kills her from here, hooks back here, and... Does he hook before moving, or does he move before hooking? On the way back out. Right, so he would move... I mean, I guess he could move down and hook over this way. He's going to be patient. This does give Meow the opportunity to get Himiko back under guard. But that also exposes his tank to the stun. Lukcid's sitting on an act again as well, so that's something to consider. Well, I hope we get to see it, Loomis. Not because I'm cheering for either one of these players, but just because in my past several streams I've been rooting for Lostem Plays as the newest meta-relevant character. We want to see him in action, obviously, during these big high-stakes games. Yeah, he could reach this. That would be one option. He can hook to defensive terrain or units. Okay, so the Himiko's now under guard. Lukcid is still squeezing in. He has to think about this. It has no stacks yet, but it is dangerous. It has breeze, too. I mean, I suppose one thing this Omega could do is just pop the shield off the Azusa, even with no expectation of killing her. It does set her up for follow-up. And Meow actually has more backup time than Lukcid at this point. Okay, pushing in hard with that breezed Epsilon. Relying on his stealth mode. So there's no way for... I mean, I guess he can stun it with D-Hard. So if he gets an attack off on someone else and moves back, he can get a stun on that Epsilon. This being right in the middle of Lukcid's team does give Meow options for next turn, although I don't like the fact that he has no stacks. Alright, what's the plan, Omega? No plan. Alright, D-Heart just popping this. She's going to teleport away. But now he'll be able to get his post-battle stun. And he is going to get it on the Epsilon, just like we thought. So D-Heart actually accomplished two things there. He took her teleport off, and he stunned this. Okay, so she knows she's at risk. She has to go now, or she's probably dead next turn, so she fires off that big 3C. That unshields Epsilon. Also gets some debuffs ready. This Epsilon only has one move now as well. Oh yeah, faction buff gone. That's a good point, Winkleman. There's no rush for Lukcid to kill the Himiko, though. He doesn't have to do it till the very end of the turn, because she can't get up there to guard it. He does have both. Bakira, that's the typical loadout that you see. So he can just use this next turn and then that again if he wants. Alright, so with that heavily primed Epsilon from Himiko's AoE, the Omega actually is able to do something. And teleport back to safety. That kill did unstun this Epsilon, because anytime there's a kill, in addition to getting a stack, he removes a debuff. So Epsilon's basically going to have his pick of the litter here now. Lost him can't re-stun it because he's still in stealth mode. He's still hiding, so he can't be targeted. Oh, Azusa barely avoids getting counter-killed from that. It's another stack for the Epsilon. He does have to choose wisely, though. Because whoever he decides to go on, Lukcid could just choose to combo him down in response. Yeah, her shield is only active on defense, right? Not on player action. So the defend the Oboro tactic is working better. Oh, he's not going to retreat. He's going to opt to take the D-Heart. It earns him another stack. Lost him, picks up a silence from that Himiko ninjutsu debuff. Lost him is extra tanky on terrain, yes. So Azusa is here to knock that shield off and block his avenue of retreat. Which means with no way of getting him back to safety, Lukcid can try to follow up and finish the kill. Although he's silenced, so he can't reach from there. Well, I guess he can if he's not silenced. So that'll be a 3C on this Epsilon. Depends on how in a bit, I guess, B-Guy. Couple more turns. Okay, we have Oboro. He's ready to come out. A 3-stacker. So this is a good time to pop that, because he knows that Epsilon's under threat, but it gets Oboro into position to then follow up against whoever it is that comes in to finish this Epsilon. So if Lostom wants to come in... I guess Lostom can still try to get away from the Oboro. By moving up and then hooking back. Oh, he's gonna go right in. He's gonna make his, he doesn't need to run away. He's gonna make his final stand on this tree here. Ouch. Omega barely missing the kill on this Azusa, despite the fact that she was primed and shieldless. And now here comes Lostom's stun. Omega finishing the job. Might as well, it's low-hanging fruit. Now, Lostom, what can you do? You have no offensive skills. The tank is stunned, but you're not going to be able to do anything to this Oboro. Oboro handily takes out the Sissy. Well, he does take out the Oboro. Oh, and hangs on with... Okay, he heals back up to 800 hit points. I think Omega's probably going to be able to handle that. What's the plan? There's nowhere to really hide. Using that grapnel just to cheese a little bit more healing for the Sand Seas. Does bring a skill back up, too. Can he safely use that? Oh! Omega barely survives! But Lostom also didn't croak. Okay, back onto a tree. Nice and comfortable on a tree. This is wild. 200 hit points. 260. Lostom is raggedy, hanging in this tree, hiding behind his Sand Sea mercenaries. Lostom pretty much has to stun Christian again. Oh, pre-battle fixed. Finishes him off. You're right, that is a showcase, Loomis, on why you need Bonnet on Lostom. Very interesting game too, so Meow able to tie it up, and we're going into a game 3 in this top 8 elimination match. Okay, back onto the Winter Hideaway like we had in game 1. Lukcid back to player 1. We'll see if Meow wants to play around with his box a little bit more, or if he's going to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Well, we didn't think Omega was going to be able to contribute that much, but he did contribute in the little ways. Well, I mean, I guess he killed Lukcid's injured Epsilon. He also popped a shield off Azusa. Meanwhile, the sound of 100 Langrisser players going to check their Lostom's equipment to see if they have any good Breeze Flower Boon bonnets sitting around. Alright, we do have some changes, and there's that Albedo. I mentioned her before. He also brings up Cortez, and we're going to get an Archon from Lukcid's side. The Archon is an interesting pick because he knows that even though Meow has been first picking a tank and does have Hilda in his box, he has been favoring that Christian first pick. Had Hilda in his box. She is actually in the side box now, so that's pretty fortuitous timing. Definitely a comfort pick for Meow. I'd be interested in seeing if we get Cortez in play, what he can do. Oh, Bakira, they have it spelled wrong on the Wikigrisser site still. They have it spelled like Rostam. Like this. Alright. Lukcid going for that first pick Lucretia again on this map. Meow definitely going to be picking up a tank here. It's just a question of whether he gets that Christian again. If he first picks Christian, I feel like... yeah, what's the point of bringing up Albedo from the sidebox, unless you're hoping to get her 5th? Okay, Lukcid getting IBC. He really likes that second ban Rosenseal. Yeah, my point wasn't really questioning why choose to pick Christian. It was why bring in a tank from your sidebox if you know that's not the tank you're going to be first picking. Okay, Meow does get the second pick Lucretia alongside her favorite faction buffer, Christian, so she's going to be able to fire long range from with the safety of a tank. Lukcid getting Archon. Meow still with some delicious picks left available to him as well. We have some of Lukcid's favorite rush follow-up units still available with Elwyn, Cherie, Azusa, Tejas. We've seen them all in play already so far in this game. Alright, and Meow leaves Elwyn up. There's that Oboro again. Again, Meow hoping that Lucretia's extended range is going to keep Lukcid at bay long enough to get Oboro transformed and into the action. Yeah, Absol, he does have IBC out already too, so Werner can definitely benefit from her speed boost. But Lukcid opting for the Elwyn instead. This may be the time we may see that Lana come out. Meow may still favor Himiko here. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Draciel. Okay, so we are getting double tank. That answers my question from earlier in ban pick. Why bring up a tank if you know you're not going to pick her right away? Because you're going to pick her later. And Lukcid opting for Sissy, which is dangerous because it does leave his units unguarded from that Lucretia and potentially the Cortez, but it does give him some healing, which Hilda wouldn't give him. He's not going to benefit from the physical tank capabilities provided by the Phalanx because everyone on Meow's side is either a tank, a magical DPS, or ignores guard, potentially. So this is looking like this was MeowSensei's dream team. He's been getting Christian and Oboro in every game. He loves Albedo, he loves Omega. And he's got a Lucretia as the icing on the cake. So Lukcid rolling again with 4 strong DPS, one of them who can potentially pull one of these threats away and finish it off or finish someone else off. That becomes a little bit trickier when Meow has 2 tanks, because he can try to position to make sure his entire team is still going to be safe even with a pull. Yeah, Archon against no Hilda, he likes facing against no Hilda, but the more tanks he has to face makes him less and less happy. Hahaha. Right. Absol is absolutely right. Lucretia is the main problem here. Oboro can potentially become a problem later, but Lukcid's going to have to cross that bridge when he comes to it. What do you got for us? So full AoE on Lucretia makes total sense in this situation. Chris with the Phalanx. And full single target on this Lucretia also makes sense given this situation. Not as much benefit to AoE there when Lucretia can just, you know, stand behind these 2 tanks and long range pick these units off one at a time. I agree with that, Loomis, that it's pretty even. I think the thing about this game being even is that Meow got pretty much, I think, the best pick line that he could have hoped for. With Nevercid's box, he can have kind of an odd-looking pick line like this and still end up on even footing against Meow. Which is kind of one of the strengths of boxes like Lukcid's. It gives you more flexibility to still be able to come into a match with a good team. Alright, now we'll see if we get a repeat of Meow's Game 1 where he used like 3 minutes of backup time on the first turn. Okay, so he's bringing Oboro up into that forward-facing transformation position. He knows he's going to be able to move up and protect that. But if he wants 4 stacks, that's where he's going to be able to hang out and get them. Opening breeze on that Elwyn. Some nice RNG damage reduction on Albedo. Her other skill has it as well. Meow doesn't have to be as careful about positioning in this game as he was in Game 1, although the main threat to his positioning is really this at this point. I guess the other interesting thing to note is that Meow has no healing whatsoever, so if Lukcid is allowed to take advantage of multiple AoEs on his Lucretia, he could wear the team down too. Woo! Woo! Archon making a statement. Illegitimate, I mean, I guess that's the only explanation for this. Is... Yeah, there's no way... Actually, there is one way to protect him. The only way to protect him is pretty much to move the Omega in front of it. Although... Yeah, because then he would be passively guarded by Albedo. Yeah, Bakira, that's less for me and more for Summit Der Langrisser. We've got some great PvP analysts here. Oh, he can't displace Oboro while he's transforming. So I guess his only option is to displace this, then, but then everyone else is passive guarded by the Albedo. Hence the two-tank strategy from Meow. That means Omega's going to want to stay back here. Yeah, Absol, I think generally when you're transforming, if you want to move to top or bottom, like if you have one tank or no tank, if you have two tanks like Meow, it's a little bit safer to move out in mid like that, knowing that you can just kind of sandwich them between your tanks and not have to worry about it. Okay, Lucretia going in for that follow-up AoE, so that's the 1-2 AoE punch. From all the way back here? I don't think Omega's reaching anything right now. Yeah, I thought I heard a breeze when he went up there, but I think it was just PTSD. Whether Elwyn can one-shot that Albedo is going to really come down to some RNG. She does have plus 20% damage taken. Meow's Lucretia is unfortunately a little bit shackled back here. She doesn't want to get in front of her tanks because the threat from this pull is too great. So if she wants to do anything, it has to be from behind the wall of safety. Okay, so we get the act again on the Lucretia. Primarily, that's going to be to speed cooldowns along. It should yield turn priority over to MeowSensei as well. Okay, Lukcid's puppet's down. Lucretia able to venture out beyond the veil of safety there to take that pick. He can run back too if he wants. This poor Archon. Okay, he is going to go for the pull on Chris. What does that give him? Gives him the Omega. Okay, Omega off the table. Omega was kind of a nuisance on that team. So, Archon is stuck behind enemy lines. This Lucretia eats him for lunch. He does have a revive, I guess. And Chris can just move back into formation. Yep. Spellwyn ready to do his job. So, I think no matter what kind of RNG you're getting on Albedo here now, she's not surviving with only 3,000 hit points with all her damage reduction. Alright, here comes the Elwyn. Elwyn actually targeting the Chris here. She's heal blocked. Passive disabled and not guarding. Alright. Meow knows this is the time. He's got 3 enemy units in close. He needs to get Oboro into the action. Doesn't take that first life. Nope, not quite, even with the explosion. Elwyn immune to that last final little Scarlet Reaper pop. So he does survive. And he still has a revive up. That is the kind of attack that makes USA fake vote quit the game. Oh, Elwyn just potentially gave away his revive here, so he does kill the Archon, or the Albedo, but this Lucretia can kill him. Play faster, please. Welcome to the chat. Okay, Meow doesn't take the bait. He goes for Lukcid's Lucretia, which is the more threatening unit right now. That brings Elwyn's revive back. So this currently is not guarding. We have an Archon yet to play. We have an IBC ready to go. Archon going for the Oboro, he gets the kill, and Archon is perfectly safe after this. Revives, heals up to 100%, and now we just have an unguarded Lucretia with her puppet and an injured Christiane and no healer. Yeah, that is definitely looking like the game. Is this 3-star Oboro? I don't think so, Absol. But I'm not sure how it was built. Right now we get to see what Meow wants to do with Lucretia's remaining time here. Okay, Christiane's able to get her guard back up. But he only has one Lucretia, and Lukcid has many threats already in deep. Absol, I've done that with Transcender. I've run into the fog and pulled someone in. So IBC can still strip this. Defender proc, still dead, so that's one life down. IBC doesn't even need to really strip it now, she could just kill it outright. Survives that Lucretia. Does she survive this? Can you even get in there, Vance? No, you can't reach. He doesn't have his teleport up right now. Lots of close calls, Vermilion Tuber. Lots of close calls in this game and in Game 2. Remember, lost him running around the map with 200 hit points. Advanced Guard not helping you against that first strike IBC, and now it's just a matter of wearing down this team. So Archon, playing patient, just kills the puppet. Lucretia does have a Reaper, but she's not going to be able to kill 4 people solo. So that is going to be the game. Lucretia making sport of it. Lucretia doesn't actually even kill this Elwyn. It would only be fitting for Elwyn to be the one who moves in after that. And Meow goes down fighting bitterly right to the last. Excellent matchup between these two players. So we had Lukcid taking the win 2-1 in a pretty hard-fought battle. Lukcid dominated in Game 1, I'd say. MeowSensei came back fighting in Game 2 and managed to take that one. Game 3 looked a lot more even, pretty scrappy, until, yeah, close to the end of that match when Oboro failed that kill on Elwyn, and then the dominoes all just fell into place for Lukcid to sweep in for cleanup. So congratulations to both players. Excellent game, excellent result. MeowSensei top 8. Lukcid moving on to the top 4, which I'm sure I'll be covering next week. And we have some more games in TSDL coming up over the next couple days as well. So later on tonight, I think in about 7 hours, I guess, will be Zanson versus Play Faster Please. And then we'll have Arinoa fighting tomorrow. So stay tuned for those. Subscribe, click the little bell thing that lets you know when I'm streaming, and do all that stuff if you want to stay connected on when those matches start happening. Otherwise, pay attention in the Discord, because I tend to spam my links in there as well. But otherwise, yeah, I'll catch you in the next one for some more Apex Arena. Thanks for coming out, everyone.